the land of WWE, there have always been good heel characters or bad guy characters, but there have always been a very few excellent heel characters. Step in the Rated R superstar Edge, whose heel run from 2005 to 2009 was met with critical acclaim as the Rated R superstar would win multiple world championships and screw over his opponents whenever he could. But what's going on, guys? It is Ketch back with another video on the channel. If you're new around here, I make weekly professional wrestling content, so hopefully you enjoy this one, and let's get into why Edge was one of the greatest WWE heels. Before he was a WWE Hall of Famer, the Rated R superstar was mostly seen as a mid-card and tag team specialist. From his early days in the Attitude Era up until 21 in 2005, Edge became something of a really good heel character, and then it was his real-life affair with Lita, who was at the time dating Matt Hardy, was turned into a storyline, made Edge one of the most hated characters in the WWE, and led to a series of fantastic. Edge would then target the WWE Championship and then WWE Champion John Cena, eventually winning his first ever coveted WWE Championship by cashing in said Money in the Bank briefcase at New Year's Revolution in 2006, pinning a then bloody John Cena, who had just gone through 30 minutes of hell in a brutal elimination chamber match. And it was from this point forward where the Rated R superstar character really came into its own, with a live sex celebration show on the following episode of Raw to celebrate his first WWE Championship, being one of the highest rated segments of Raw at the time, leading Edge to call himself, as I've already mentioned, the Rated R superstar, given his ratings ability to score more and more ratings with the live audience and fans watching at home. Unfortunately for Edge, he would lose his first WWE Championship 2 weeks later back to John Cena at the Royal Rumble, and then would embark on a feud against Mick Foley, who he believed costed him his rematch against Cena, and this feud culminated in an excellent match at WrestleMania 22, which ended with Edge spearing Foley through a flaming table and getting second-degree burns on his arms, chest, and back. And then Edge would then set his sights on the WWE Championship once again. He interfered at EC Van Dam at Vengeance. He would then regain the title in a triple threat match against both Cena and Rob Van Dam, finally getting his second WWE Championship, and after winning the title he would defend it against Cena at SummerSlam in John Cena's hometown of West Newbury, Massachusetts, of course, and Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And of course this was Edge's specialty match, a tables, ladders and chair match. And unfortunately Edge's second reign as WWE Champion would end after he was sent through 4 tables off a ladder by Cena, in which Cena would regain his WWE Championship and then embark on a 380-day reign as champion up until 2007. But Edge from this point forward wasn't going to be stopped. He then found another way to enter himself in Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania 23. He was unsuccessful as the match was won by Mr. Kennedy, but unfortunately a off-screen injury to Kennedy, lesser extent injury than WWE had initially feared, meant that Kennedy had to drop that Money in the Bank briefcase and it was given to Edge. Edge pinned Mr. Kennedy, becoming a 2-time Mr. Money in the Bank, and on the following episode of SmackDown, after a brutal encounter with Batista in a steel cage match, The Undertaker would retain the World Heavyweight title, but a post-match assault by the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, put Taker in a vulnerable position, allowing the Rated R superstar Edge to cash in on The Undertaker and become a first-time World Heavyweight Championship, earning him the nickname The Ultimate Opportunist, but also being called a piranha by Michael Cole, who was on commentary, alluding to the fact that Edge was always opportune in his times to score his major WWE and World Heavyweight Championship victories. And this would then embark Edge on a sole run as the face of SmackDown for the next few months, feuding with Batista and Kane in some excellent matches, but also trying to chicken his way out of defending the title whenever he could, of course. One of Edge's greatest abilities was his ability to team his already hated character with other established hated characters on the roster, and one such instance was where he created the stable La Familia, which included then SmackDown General Manager Vicky Guerrero and her annoying "excuse me" catchphrase, Chavo Guerrero, Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. They would attempt to dominate SmackDown over 2007 into 2008, and this worked, with Edge being champion of that period for some time until his eventual loss to The Undertaker at WrestleMania 24. But during this time period he had some excellent matches again with Batista, who he won the championship off at Armageddon, and also feuding with other capable superstars on the SmackDown roster such as Undertaker himself, Rey Mysterio, MVP and Finlay, but also being such a douchebag heel that he would defend his title against Funaki, beating him in under a couple of minutes to establish that he was a a threat that couldn't be taken lightly, and as World Heavyweight Champion, he did whatever he could in his power to ensure that Batista and The Undertaker, his two biggest competitors and challengers at the time, were constantly screwed out of the World Heavyweight title. And this would continue into 2008 as well, as Edge would regain his World Heavyweight Championship in a tables, ladders and chair match against The Undertaker, banishing Taker temporarily from WWE, and then retaining said title against Batista, and with CM Punk would cash in his own Money in the Bank Championship on Edge, ending Edge's reign, and in a pure touch of justice, giving Edge that dose of karma that he had coming for some time. It's likely that without his feud against John Cena, the character of the Rated R Superstar probably doesn't get as over as it did, and Edge might have gone back to being just a mid-carder and tag team specialist, but with his feuds with John Cena, he was able to bring out his full range of the Rated R Superstar and the Ultimate Opportunist, of course, being able to show to the world and to Cena that he was not only a good person to have a match with, but that he could also cut a mean promo on the microphone. And the fact he could do it by being such a dick as well to who he was speaking to, but also to the fans as well. Like, there's a specific promo on Raw, I can't remember, I think it's in 2006, but I think it was where I think it was the night after SummerSlam 2006, where people had thought that Cena would win that WWE Championship back in his hometown, and when Edge won the next night on Raw, he cut this promo where he called everyone wrong, going around the front row of the ring, just going wrong to everyone, and being just a complete douchebag in the process. And that's just what happened when he feuded with Cena. It just got him more and more heat, and the fact that there might have been some form of real life animosity, maybe, at least that's the way it seemed on TV. It could have been different backstage, of course, but that's what it seemed like on TV. These two hated each other, and that's why their matches were so good, because the crowd was so invested, and people behind the scenes gave them so much leeway to say what they could say on the microphone, which was fantastic, and helping both the Rated R Superstar Edge, but also John Cena as well. In a time period where Cena would pretty much is untouchable, the fact that he could have such good matches against Edge and be such a good opponent to Edge's bad guy is why Edge got over as the Rated R Superstar and as the bad heel character that we all know, and that it made him so popular with the fans that after his career-threatening injury that forced him to retire in 2011, fans thought they'd seen the last of Edge. When he retired in 2011, he was actually playing a good guy character, but prior to that, obviously, had been playing a heel character. And when he informed the fans that he was retiring and had to give up the World Heavyweight Championship because he had a neck problem or a neck injury, everyone was saddened and devastated by the fact they were losing one of the best people or best wrestlers that WWE had at that point in time, but also an experienced wrestler. WWE in 2011 had some experienced wrestlers, but Edge was one of the most experienced at that point. And the fact they lost him, the WWE did lose quite a lot of experience, unfortunately, with Edge. But then he did come back in 2020 to a thunderous pop at the Royal Rumble, and he was back once again. Fans could finally get that final run from the Rated R Superstar, and he did turn heel briefly when he decided to lead the Judgment Day stable with both Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. Unfortunately, injuries on the roster to a lot of baby faces, including Cody Rhodes at the time, forced WWE's hand and had to revert Edge back to a babyface. But even still, as a heel in the Judgment Day, Edge was still being cheered by the fans, and it didn't matter what he did. He was so popular as a character that people just didn't want to boo him anymore. And so I think it's the fact that he played that bad guy character so well in that initial run as the Rated R Superstar that he just became lovable in the fans' eyes. It's weird how that works in WWE. You play a character for so long and people hate that character, that when they don't have, you know, viewership of that character, like they didn't have Edge for 10 years, then you can see what it does for him. And so when he returned at the Royal Rumble in 2020, the crowd went absolutely bananas. And the fact that at that point he'd become one of the youngest Hall of Famers as well. After his injury in 2011, he was a Hall of Famer in 2012 as the headline act of the 2012 WWE Hall of Fame class. So WWE knew what he had contributed to the business, and the fact he was able to have one more good run in the WWE coming out of retirement and giving the fans what they had missed for so long was something that is a testament to Edge's character, but also the fact that he was such a good heel character that people just wanted him back. And I don't know, I think that summary is probably a decent one at best. But I think without Edge in WWE, it's a very different landscape. I don't think John Cena gets as over as he does. I don't think people like Randy Orton get the same level of exposure that they did. Someone like Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest probably also are still in the mid-card division. You know, without Edge's experience and guidance, they probably don't get anywhere near the top of the card. And so I think it's not only Edge's ability to help younger talent through the ranks like he did with Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins back in the day, and nowadays with Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest as early as 2023, it just is a testament to Edge not only as a human being, but also as a character. His ability to be helping people behind the scenes is something that WWE held so highly for the Rated R Superstars character, and I think that's why he will go down as one of the best heels in the WWE, because he was just that damn good. That has been the end of this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, please let me know what you thought of Edge's heel run, and if you think he's one of the greatest heels in the WWE, and also let me know any suggestions on who you'd like me to cover next. I might turn this into a series, might not, depends on how the video does, of course. And if you wouldn't mind, please do give it a like and a subscribe, as I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers as soon as possible to tick off another YouTube milestone. But with that, guys, I will leave you to it. Have a great rest of your day and see you next time.